All right, here's our review for our spring semester exam. All right, here we go. So hypotenuse. Okay, is the longest side of a right triangle. You can call it the C across from the right angle. So whenever you're doing Pythagorean Theorem, hypotenuse is across from the right angle, the 90-degree angle, right? It's also the longest side, okay? Opposite side is the side opposite from a given angle. Sometimes we call that angle theta, the zero-looking thing. A scalene triangle is a triangle with 3 different side lengths. Okay. Obtuse triangle is a triangle with 1 obtuse angle. And if you remember, an obtuse angle is greater than 90 degrees. Okay. Isosceles triangle, like my eyes. Okay, is a triangle with 2 congruent sides. An acute triangle is a triangle with 3 acute angles. And what does acute mean? Less than 90 degrees. Okay, equilateral triangle. Triangle with all congruent sides. All 3 congruent sides, okay? Now, what we're about to do is get back into triangles and trigonometry, okay? You're gonna remember this trigonometry stuff. So, a ladder 17 feet from the base of a building. So, here's my house, here's my ladder, and it says it's 17 away from the building. So, this makes a right triangle, and this is gonna be 17, okay? Reaches a window that's 45 feet high. Whoops. Okay, so 45 feet high. What is the length of the ladder to the nearest foot? Okay, now I'm going to redraw that over here. Okay, it's a bad picture, but I got 17, I got 45, okay, and then X. Now, if I have 3 sides, one's missing of a right triangle, we're going to use Pythagorean Theorem, okay? So I'm going to write A and B next to 90, and then across from 90 is my C. I'm going to use Pythagorean Theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So 17 squared plus 45 squared equals C, which is X squared. Okay. So let's do 17 squared and 45 squared. We get this calculator going. All right, so we're going to do 17 squared and 45 squared. Okay. Sorry, so it's 17 squared and 45 squared. 289, 2025. Okay, if I can add those together, to 2,314. Now that's not my final answer. That's x squared. So my last step to get rid of a square is to square root. Square root, square root. And what is the square root of 2314? Square root, second x squared, control x squared, 2314. 48.1. So we'll write that down here. And that's in feet. Cool. So again, that's the Pythagorean Theorem. Plug in the two legs you know to get the hypotenuse. And here's another one. Landscape wants to place a stone walkway from one corner to the other. Will be the length of the walkway. So we have A, B, and C again, which we'll call this x. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. 90 squared plus 45 squared equals x squared. So what is 90 squared and 45 squared? 8100 and 2025. Cool. So I'm going to add those together. $10,125. And that is not the answer. That's still x squared. So to get rid of a square, we must square root both sides. So let's do square root. And I get 10.03. That does not sound right. Let's try that again. Square root 10,125. 100.62. That's more like it. And we're talking about feet again. All right. Cool. Next one. Yield sign is an equilateral triangle with a side length of 26 inches. What is the height of the sign? Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is cut this triangle in half. Okay. So this is 60. This is 90. Now, half of 26, halfway across, 26 divided by 2 is 13. So this is actually 13 up here. And I'm looking for, we'll call it x, the height, h. Okay. Now, this is when we're going to use trigonometry. SOHCAHTOA. Okay. Why do I use SOHCAHTOA? Because I have one side and one angle. If you know one side and one angle in a right triangle, you can use trigonometry to find the missing side that you need. So, what's my starting angle? 60. Remember, I'm going to label O, H, and A first. So starting at 60, here's my O opposite. Across from 90 is my H, and my adjacent A is left over. Now let's think back. When I label OHA, I want to cross out the one I don't need, which is going to be H. H has nothing on it. So I have O and I have A. OA is TOA, and T stands for tan. Okay. So tan, my trig, then my angle that I started with is 60 equals, and then O over A, x over 13. Okay. Now, If I'm solving for x, it's being divided by 13. I want to multiply by 13 on both sides. So what I want to do is tan 60 times 13 in my calculator. What I do want to double check is in my settings, number 5, 2, oh, look, I'm in radians. This has to be in degrees. Okay, your second option has to be in degrees. So again, what did I do? I pressed home, and then I went to 5 settings, and then 2 document settings, and then the second angle thing has to be in degrees, not radians, not gradians. Okay, and now we can type this in. So it's tan 60 times 13. So remember, trig is next to the number 7. Let's go ahead and hit tan, and then 60, go to the right, and it's going to be times 13. Oh my gosh, sorry. I get 22.52. That's 6 makes it round up. And those were measured in inches. Okay. So look, I had a trigonometry problem. Even though it was a triangle, I had to cut it in half because I was looking for x, which is down the middle, the height. Okay. I had to make sure I had the right side length. It wasn't 26, it was halfway, so it's 13. I labeled OHA starting at the given angle 60, crossed out the missing one H. OA is tan, so it's trig angle equals O over A. Because it's tan, plug in what I know, get my answer. Okay. Okay, solve for x in each image below. Now this is more trig, so I'm going to start at 33. I'm going to label O, H, and A. A is missing, cross out A. So when I'm thinking of SOHCAHTOA, trig, OH is going to be so. So S is for sine. So the trig, then the angle, which is 33, if you can see that, equals O over H, 15 over X. Now, if you remember, when X is on the bottom, okay, you have to switch the bottom with this whole side. Switcheroo. Okay, that was our trick. So X goes to the left, 15 stays on top, and on the bottom is sine 33. So let's type in 15 over sine 33. $27.54 degrees. Nope, not degrees. 27.54 units, whatever that is, for our missing x. All right, same thing here. Here's my starting angle, so I'm going to label O, H, and A. So which one is not labeled? A. So OH is once again, so sine, angle 45 equals O over H. When x is on top, we get rid of the divided by 6 by multiplying by 6, and then multiplying by 6. What is sine 45 times 6? 4.24 units for the length of x. That makes sense because it's less than 6, which is the hypotenuse, the longest side. All right. Here's some more. So once again, we're doing SOHCAHTOA. Okay. So here's my angle I'm starting with, 43 degrees. I'm going to label O, H, A. O is gone, cross it out. AH is cosine 43 degrees equals A over H, 36 over X. When X is on the bottom, again, our trick is to take the trig on the left, switch it with the denominator. So X goes to the left, 36 stays on top, and then cosine 43 is on the bottom. 36 over cosine 43 gives us 49.22 units for the missing side X. Once again, at our angle, we label O, H, and A. Which one's not labeled? A. So just like the first two, OH is S for sine. Sine of 33 equals O over H. And when X is on the bottom, we take this whole thing and we switch it with X. So X equals 15 over sine 33. The 15 stays on top. Sine 33 goes to the bottom. What is 15 over sine 33? $27.54 units, whatever those units are. All right, polygons. This is a parallelogram, and we know parallelograms' opposite sides are congruent. So that means LM and PN are congruent. So that means 9x minus 25 equals 5x plus 7. Now, on these, if you set them up, you can end solve, by doing menu 3, 1. Don't forget comma x. Okay? Or you can solve it old-fashioned way, which I will show you right now. When x is on both sides, you get rid of the smaller x, which is 5x. Minus 5x minus 5x. Crosses out on the right. 9x minus 5x is 4x. Bring down minus 25. Bring down equals. Bring down 7. Now we have a two-step problem. I need to get rid of the loner, the minus 25, by doing the opposite. Plus 25 plus 25. What's 7 plus 25? 4x equals 32. Last step to get rid of 4 in front of x being multiplied is to divide. 32 divided by 4 is 8. So our missing variable x is 8, because I know opposite sides are congruent. Okay, but on QP over here, okay, this is obtuse, this is acute, they're not the same. Okay, consecutive angles are supplementary. And what does supplementary mean? They add up to equal 180, right? So on these, do not do it like the one we just did. Okay, on this one, you have to add them up and then equals 180. So let's do that. So 3x plus 5 plus 8x minus 12 equals 180. Angle plus angle equals 180. Now, x is on the same side. I'm not going to get rid of one. I'm going to combine them. 3x plus 8x is 11x. 5 minus 12 is negative 7. And that still equals 180. Next step, to get rid of the loner minus 7, the opposite is to add 7. I got 11x equals 187. And then last step to get rid of that 11 is to divide by 11. and I get 17. You can use your calculator to get that number as well. Okay. All right. Now determine the area of the figure below. Now when we're doing this, this is a trapezoid. If you don't remember how to find these formulas, they are the form of the chart. Okay, area of a trapezoid is 1/2 B1 plus B2H. So this is sideways, so my first base and my second base are parallel. We can call this B1 and B2. And since there's a right angle, the height is actually right here. So it's sideways. You have to look at it this way. Okay, look at it looking like this. So here's your bottom, here's your top, and then straight there as a right angle is your height. Okay, so let's plug in what we know. 1/2, 7 plus 13 times 5, the height. Okay, you plug all that in, you'll get 50 millimeters. Okay, half of 20 is 10, 10 times 5 is 50. There you go. You can use your calculator as well. Okay. All right, next one. Given the shape is a rectangle, well, what do I know about rectangle angles? They're all 90. Each of these can be set equal to 90. So let's start with x. Now, x is by itself. I know this is 90. X equals 90. Well, that's it. Okay. Let's try w. Now, this angle is 3w. If 3w equals 90 degrees, I just have one step to get rid of a 3 multiplied by w. The opposite is to divide by 3. 90 divided by 3 is 30. Same thing with z, so that angle is 9z, that equals 90. So my last step to get rid of a 9 times z is to divide by 9. 90 divided by 9 is 10. Now for y, we have 5y plus 25 equals, and that angle has to be 90. So I just have a two-step problem. I'm going to get rid of that loner, positive 25 by subtracting 25. Then I'm going to bring down 5y equals, and I get 65. All right, and then how do I get rid of the 5 in front of y? Well, it's being multiplied, so I'm going to divide by 5. It's 65 divided by 5 is 13. Okay, very good. All right, so which quadrilaterals always have opposite angles that are congruent? Okay, so in a parallelogram, opposite sides are parallel and congruent. Opposite angles in a rectangle are always 90, so that works. A rhombus, opposite angles are the same. And a square, okay? Opposite angles are congruent on all of these. The one that it's not necessarily is a trapezoid or a kite, okay? Which quadrilaterals always have diagonals that bisect opposite angles, okay? Now, this is trickier. So let's refer to our chart. All right, so check it out here. So which one of these have diagonals that bisect opposite angles? So on a rhombus, its diagonals bisect opposite angles, so rhombus for sure, okay? So only a rhombus, and then a square is a rhombus, so only those two, okay? Not for parallelogram or rectangles. All right. Now, Let's solve for the area and perimeter of the following shape. Now, before you can find the area of this shape, okay, we need to know the height. Okay, so we can do Pythagorean Theorem with 3x and 5 in a right triangle. Okay, so we have a, b, and c. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now, this is a triple. We've done this before, but if you don't remember, you square 3, you get 9. You square 5, you get 25. Now, notice, when you're missing a leg, x is not over here in the c position. X is right here. So when you're solving for x, you first have to get rid of this positive 9 by subtracting 9. What is 25 minus 9? 16. Okay. And then you're going to get rid of that 16, the square, by square rooting both sides. So x equals 4. All right, so this height right here is 4. Now, to find the area and the perimeter of this triangle, right? This is a three-sided figure. Hopefully we know this is a triangle. Okay, so the formula for the area of a triangle is 1/2 BH. So the area equals 1/2 BH. So what's B? Well, this whole bottom side, 7 plus 3 is 10. That's also my B, okay? So 1/2 times 10 times, and the height we saw right there is 4. Okay, when you multiply all that, you get 20 units squared, whatever the units are, okay? Back those there. Alrighty. And then for the perimeter, you just add up all three sides on the outside. So this side is 10. This side is 5. And then this side is 8.1. So what's 10 plus 5 plus 8.1? It's 23.1 units, regular units. Okay, cool. So for the area and perimeter of the following shape, okay, we already talked about area of this, of a trapezoid. You can see it on here again if you want. Oh, not there. Area of a trapezoid is 1/2 B1 plus B2H. So B1's down here, B2's up here, they're parallel, and the height is perpendicular between them. So 1/2, 18 plus 12 times 7.4. Okay, so let's type that in our calculator. 1/2 18 plus 12 times 7.4. Okay, we get 111, and we're talking about centimeters squared because it's area. Area is squared, okay? For perimeter, there's only 4 sides, so you add up 18, 8, 12, and 8. Don't add 7.4 because that's not a side, it's on the inside, okay? So you end up getting 46. All right, and that's still centimeters, but not squared because it's just a length. Cool. All right, solve for the area and perimeter of the following shape. Now, we can do the perimeter pretty easily because all the side lengths are the same, right? And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. And they're all going to be 7, right? So you could add up 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7, or just do 7 times 6 sides, which is 42 centimeters. That's great, okay? But for this regular polygon, we got to remember the area of a regular polygon is 1/2 little AP. And little a is the apothem from the center to the midpoint. So all we got to do is 1/2 times 5.78 times 42. 1/2 times 5.78 times 42. And we get 121.38. And that's centimeters squared because we're talking about area, two-dimensional. Okay. All right. Couple parts left. Find the area and perimeter of the figure below. Okay. Now you can find the area of this. Now, this triangle, if we do A, B, and C, Pythagorean Theorem, okay? A squared plus B squared equals C squared, okay? I want to find A because I need to find this to find the area, okay? So we'll call this X, okay? So X squared plus 35 squared equals 37 squared. So I need 37 squared and 35 squared. And if I'm solving for x, I'm going to get rid of this loner, minus 1225. And I get 144. Last step to get rid of the square is square root. And the square root of 144 is 12 inches. Now I did all that work just to find out x right here is 12, okay? So right here, this is 12. So all the way across is going to be 212, which is going to be 24. And if that's 24, that's 24, and then these other tick marks have to also be 24. Okay, so that was kind of tricky, but just finding this one little slice gives me the whole thing, and guess what? That's a square, so they're all 24. No big deal. Now, finding the area, we're going to have to find the area of a triangle plus the area of a square. So the triangle is 1/2 BH, and then the square is base times height of the square. Now for the triangle, 1/2 little b all the way across is 24. The height of the triangle is this b value right here, which is 35. And then for the square, base times height is 24 times 24. Okay, so let's just type that in, see what happens. So 1/2 times 24 times 35 plus 24 times 24 is 996 inches squared because it's area. And then the perimeter, we're just going to add up all the sides on the outside. Now, there are only 5 sides on the outside. 24, 24, 37. This one also has to be 37. And then 24. All right, let's add these up. 24 plus 24 plus 37 plus 24. Gives me 146 for my perimeter. And those are just in inches because it's one-dimensional perimeter. All right. And then on this one, given all the angles are right angles, find the perimeter of the figure. Okay. Perimeter. Cool. Now, let's do this. If this is 8, that means that this, and this have to add up to 8. So this is 3, and this is 2, and this is 8. Okay, 8 minus that 3 plus 2, 8 minus 5 gives me 3. So this little thing right here is going to be 3. Sorry, bless me. All right, and here's why. 3 plus 3 plus 2 equals 8. Makes sense, okay? Now, here's the tricky part. Okay, I want to find this missing side up and down. Now, it's not going to be 12 minus 7, okay? That wouldn't work. I need to figure out what is this right here. Okay, so here's the deal. Over here, if the whole thing is 7, and then this little piece is 2, that means this piece over here has to be 5. So what is a whole 12 take away 5? 7. Okay. So does that make sense? This whole 7 take away this 2. Okay. Or sorry, this whole 7 take away this 2 is 5, and then the whole 12 take away 5 is 7. Okay. Now perimeter, we're going to add up all the sides. So I'm going to start at the bottom. 8 plus 12 plus 2 plus 7 plus 3 plus 2 plus 3 plus 7. Okay. Because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers. Okay. I get 44 units. All right. That's it. Last two here, the box of DVD. What's the total surface area? Total surface area of a box. This is a prism. Okay, it's 17 high, 12 long, 3 wide. How do I find the total surface area of a prism? Well, it's pH plus 2b. Remember, P is perimeter of the base. So again, if I were to draw the base, it would have 2 3s and 2 12s. Okay, so perimeter of the base is 12 plus 3 plus 12 plus 3, which gives me 30. And then big B is the area of the bottom. Okay, 12 times 3, which is 36. So when I do pH plus 2b, knowing my height is 17, I'm really doing 30 times 17 plus 2 times 36. And I get 582. And my units are in centimeters squared because it's area. Okay. Last but not least, we have a standard basketball. Basketball is a what? Sphere, approximately 9.5 inches. So that means all the way across is 9.5. So the radius is half the diameter. So it's 1/2 of 9.5. .75 is my radius. Okay, very important that I know the radius. From the center to the edge, 4.75. Okay, so find the surface area and the volume. So the surface area of a sphere is 4 pi r squared. I can find that on my formula chart right here. And then my volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. Again, that's right here, sphere. So all we gotta do is plug in r, which is 4.75. 4 pi 4.75 squared. And then this one's 4/3 pi 4.75 cubed. Well, let's do it. So 4 pi 4.75 squared, we get 283.53. And then 4/3 pi 4.75 caret 3 for cubed. 448.92. And since we're talking about inches, inches are squared for surface area, inches are cubed for volume. And that is your review for your final. Make sure you study these concepts and are ready to take a test based on these concepts.